So now we will go with the last part of our chapter, cell organelles and their functions. We have gone through some of the cell organelles like cell membrane, nucleus and cell wall. But still then some gist about it. What is cell membrane? The outermost covering of the cell that separates the contents of the cell from its external environment is called the cell membrane. That means it is present both in plant cell and in animal cell. It is made up of a bilayer of lipoproteins. Must have remembered now. Then come to the cytoplasm. The fluid or the matrix content inside the plasma membrane of the cell is called the fluid present inside the cell membrane is called the cytoplasm. Inside this cytoplasm only all the organelles are floating. Okay, inside this. So first organelle we will read about is mitochondria. It is the cell organelles found in large numbers in the cells. So it is used for respiration. It's a structure, you can see that it is a rod shaped structure. Okay. It has a rod-shaped structure, and in this structure also you can see that it has two membranes, the outer red membrane and the inner one, which is consisting of yellow membrane, yellow things, okay, yellow plasma. So this mitochondria has two membranes. Outer membrane is regular, inner membrane is irregular, and it is consisted into folds. It is thrown up into folds. These folds, actually you know that this mitochondria, we should know that mitochondria is also called the powerhouse of the cell. It produces energy. So when the folds will be more, then there will be more energy production. If there will be less folds, then less energy production will be there. Okay, so that means the inner membrane is a place where energy is produced. That means food is broken down to produce energy. It has a double membrane. Inner part is folded inward to form layers, and these layers or these folds are called cristae, inner folds. Then the functions of mitochondria, it is a site for respiration. The energy required for various chemical activities needed for life is released by mitochondria. That means all type of energy is released from mitochondria in the form of ATP. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. I have not written here, but you should know adenosine triphosphate is the full form of ATP. They have their DNA and ribosomes. So this is one structure, mitochondria, and another structure when we will read about plastids. That time also we will come across this word, the DNA and ribosomes. They have, we know that. That means inside a cell, one nucleus is having its own DNA and ribosomes, mitochondria is having its own DNA and ribosomes, and the plastids are having their own DNA and ribosomes, due to which they are able to make their own proteins. So they are called semi-autonomous organelles. That means they can make their own proteins. Autonomous means they are not dependent upon other organelles for proteins. Then the nucleus, it controls the cell, it is the largest organelle in the cell, and it contains the cell's DNA. Then it also contains ribosomes. Then functions of nucleus. It helps in inheritance of features from parents to next generation. That is from in the form of DNA molecules. DNA is deoxyribose nucleic acid. So the full form of DNA is deoxyribose nucleic acid. Okay, these are present. This deoxyribose or DNA is also called chromosomes, which are present inside the nucleus. So inside the cell there is nucleus, and inside the nucleus it controls which protein and what amount of it will be synthesized in the cell. That DNA, it controls which protein is to be synthesized. Okay, it decides the type of protein. It plays a central role in cell division. It also helps in cell division. It plays a crucial part along with the environment in determining the way the cell will develop and what form it will exhibit at maturity and what functions it will do by directing the chemical activities of the cell. Because it has the DNA, that DNA will help in making the type of protein the organism need or the cell need, and that will only decide, the proteins or the DNA will decide what type the cell will develop into, which type of functions it will do. Okay, then the nucleus, the nucleolus. Nucleolus is another small body which is present inside the nucleus. So there is another organelle, nucleolus. It is responsible for making ribosomes. So the ribosomes are made inside the nucleolus. Then vacuoles. Vacuoles means a sac, a packet which contains mostly water or food. Okay, it has no other function, and sometimes it bursts or it is absorbed in this way. They are the storage sacs for solid or liquid content bounded by unit membrane. Unit membrane means one single membrane. Okay, they are not double membraned like mitochondria. In animals, they are present in large number but in small size. In plants, they are present in few number but in large size. Then, the functions of vacuole, they are the storage sacs of the cell. Many important substances like amino acids, sugar, organic acids and some proteins are present inside the vacuole of the plant. Okay, so inside the vacuole, there are very necessary things. Then in single-celled organisms like amoeba, food vacuole contains the food. Okay, in some unicellular organisms, unicellular means one single celled organism. Specialized vacuoles also play important role in expelling excess water and waste. That means throwing out excess water and waste. Then endoplasmic reticulum. It is a large network of membrane-bounded tubes and sheets. It looks like long tubules or round or oblong bags or vesicles. You must have remembered when we drew the nucleus structure. Around the nucleus structure, we drew some some long elongated structures and with the dots on it. Those elongated structures like a canal, like a channel, is called endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so that endoplasmic reticulum, it actually is a channel. It is a network of membrane bounded tubules. You can see here in this structure. You can see in this structure, these are the tubules and these are the oblong bags. Okay, these are long bags and these are long tubules. Okay, so this contains many things inside it. This is like a pathway, like bhul bhulaiya we say, no? It is looking like that, bhul bhulaiya, walls of the bhul bhulaiya, and it is they are the two types of endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum, it is like the roadway through which materials are transported from the nucleus to various parts of the cell. Okay, there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. A very important question. It has particles called ribosomes. Why it is rough? Because its surface is rough. And why is the surface rough? Because of the presence of dots on it. What type of dots? These dots are actually the ribosomes. Okay, when seen under a microscope, that is why it is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. On the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, there are no dots, the surface is smooth, hence it is called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, then come to the functions of endoplasmic reticulum. It is a site for protein synthesis. Because it contains ribosomes. Ribosomes are actually the sites of protein synthesis. Okay, smooth endoplasmic reticulum is a site for lipid synthesis. Smooth endoplasmic of the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it produces lipids. Some of these proteins and lipids synthesized by smooth endoplasmic and rough endoplasmic respectively have the process of building the cell membrane. So these lipids and proteins which they make, they help in repairing the cell membrane. So that process is called membrane biogenesis. They make the cell membrane, the structure of cell membrane. So the things which are used or the bricks that are used for making the cell membrane, they are prepared inside the endoplasmic reticulum. It serves as channel for the transport of material. Channel means the roadway from which the material is transported from nucleoplasm to cytoplasm. Okay, then smooth endoplasmic reticulum has a very important function in the liver cells. So smooth endoplasmic of the liver cells play a crucial role in detoxifying many poisons and drugs. It's a very important function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This is why we should keep our liver clean, because we should eat clean things, because it is only the smooth endoplasmic of the liver which detoxifies the poisons and drugs inside what we eat. Then Golgi apparatus. It is another membrane-bounded, single membrane-bounded structure. It is an organelle that is responsible for sorting and correctly shipping the proteins produced in the endoplasmic reticulum. So this Golgi apparatus is nearly present near the endoplasmic reticulum only. Whatever the endoplasmic reticulum gives out, that is captured by the Golgi apparatus, and this apparatus will pack it in certain vesicles and then pinch it out and send it to the organelle or the part of the cell where it is needed. Okay, so Golgi apparatus is made up of membrane bounded vesicles present in the form of stacks. Stacks means piled upon each other. Like in a book, the papers or when the books are kept one over the other, we say that there is a stack of book. Similarly, here the membranes or the structure vesicles are piled over each other, okay, to form a stack. Here you can see the structure also, how they are piled here, okay. They are, and here the vesicular structure, and these are piled over each other. It was discovered by Camillo Golgi. Then the functions of Golgi apparatus: storage and packaging, and dispatching. Dispatching means sending them to where it is needed, to substances formed by smooth endoplasmic and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Formation of complex sugars from simple sugars, and they also help in the formation of lysosomes. Lysosomes are actually very destructive enzymes. Okay, lysosomes contains destructive enzymes which kill the foreign particles. They even kill the cells. We will read about lysosomes later. Ribosomes and its function. There are tiny particles present in all active cells. They are rounded ball-like structures, single membraned, and these ribosomes, they are the site where proteins are made. So organelles that help in the synthesis of proteins. They are found in the cytoplasm, and they are also attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then lysosome and its function. These are the membrane-bounded cell organelles that contain digestive enzymes. When the cell gets fully damaged, lysosome may burst and the enzymes may digest the cell. Okay, therefore they are also known as suicidal bags of the cell. So, understood? Here it is not written suicidal bags. I think it is hidden. It is known. Here I will write. It is not suicidal. Anyways, leave it. Suicidal bags. They are also known as suicidal bags of the cells. Lysosome functions as the cell's recycling compartment because it kills away the dead parts of the cell, or it eats away the digests them and unwanted cell parts. Okay, the cell parts which are destroyed, or the cell membrane which is destroyed, that also is eaten up, and then new cell membrane is made by the endoplasmic reticulum, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, as I told you. So lysosome, it eats away the foreign particles also. So it is a digestive part of the cell. Now, the cell wall. I told you the cell wall. It is present in the plant cell. It is rigid outer covering, and it protects the cell from bursting, from infection, etc. Then the functions of the cell wall. It permits the cell of the plant, fungi and bacteria to withstand dilute external media without bursting. Secondly, it has narrow pores through which fine strands of cytoplasm are able to cross the cell wall. And because of the cell wall, cell can withstand changes in the external environment and protecting the cell. Talking about the plastids, plastids are the green pigments or the pigments present inside the plant cell, found only in the plant cell. They are double layered and they contain their own DNA and ribosomes. The second one after mitochondria. Plastids are of three types: chloroplasts, leucoplasts and chromoplasts. We have read about chloroplasts many times, the green colored plastids, okay, that contain a pigment chlorophyll which gives green color to the plant, and they help in photosynthesis. So leucoplasts, they are the white colored or colorless plastids. You must have seen white flowers, white roots, like you can say the radish, it is white in color. Then chromoplasts, colored plastids. The petals are green in red in color. The carrot is orange in color. Okay, so this type of colors are due to the presence of chromoplasts in them. Then functions of plastids. The chloroplasts are important for photosynthesis. So here is the structure of chloroplast. Then the leucoplasts. Leucoplasts store materials like starch, oil and protein granules. So they are the part of storage. Chromoplasts, they impart color to the flowers and fruits. They are rich in carotenoid pigments and lipids. Carotenoids are a type of pigment, a type of color. So you can see here inside the structure that there is something plate-like structures which are kept one over the other. These plate-like structures are called thylakoids, and this like a cytoplasm, something is there, this purple colored one, this is called the stroma. Okay, and this stack of thylakoids is called granum. When the thylakoids or the plates are kept one over the other, they form the granum. These are the three main parts of the plastids. Now, the plastid is covered by two membranes. Then, so this is the end of the chapter, and then I will give you an assignment also. So solve it, and any doubt, please clarify.